What's good, everybody? So in this video, as you guys already noticed when you click the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 most powerful legal Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, as a disclaimer for the video, the cards I'm going to be going over are going to be mainly standalone cards. So that basically means that I'm not going to be going over archetype based cards, because as we already know, archetype based cards, while they're popular today, might not be popular in the near future. So I just wanted to cut those archetype cards out and go straight for cards that can stand alone for themselves. So without further ado, let's begin. Starting off by saying, I'm going to shoot this list gun-ho and go straight to the rundown. You guys already know how I do it. 10 is not better than 1, 1 is not better than 10. I'm just listing the cards as I have them listed on my phone. Number 10. Anti-Spell Fragrance. Now, the reason why I have Anti-Spell Fragrance on this list is because it is a really powerful card, mainly because of the pendulum being a thing. It is the only card in the archetype at the moment that we currently have that can just floodgate out the entire pendulum mechanic. Once you activate it, they can't set their scales, and they're pretty much fucked unless they get rid of it with an MST or a Twin Twister or a Royal Decree. And if they do draw one of those cards, they're going to have to set all three of it due to the fact that once Fragrance is on the field, they're going to have to set their spell on traps, and they have to set Decree because it's a trap anyway. So overall, it's just a powerful card that can fuck over Pendulum, so I just had to have it on the list at number 10. Coming in at number 9, I have Royal Decree. Now, like Anti-Spell Fragrance, Royal Decree does something special to the community. It floodgates. It's been in the game for years now, back in at least 2005. It was originally a tournament pack card for you guys that did not know, and the card effect basically reads, negate all traps. And the reason why the card is powerful, you guys probably saying, Decree, there's more cards that's powerful than Royal Decree. Well, in my opinion, there's not. Royal Decree has stood the test of time, and it's always been in players' side decks for 10 plus years. So for that reason, I had to have it on this at number 9, because it's just very powerful in what it does. Simple effect, negate all traps. People use it every fucking format, every year for the past 10 years. Back in the day, if you had a Royal Decree, you're just winning tournaments. Coming in at number 8, I have Raigeki. Now, Raigeki made it to this list because it was given to us back, I think, earlier this year or maybe sometimes late last year off the ban list, and it's been saying staple status in either player's main deck or side deck. Some people don't run it, but overall it's a solid card. Just like Royal Decree, coming from a simpler time of Yu-Gi-Oh where you play the card, you get your effect, and you win. Raigeki, for you guys that do not know, you activate it to destroy all of your opponent's monsters. It's very one-sided, very powerful, and I had to have this at number 8 as one of the all-time powerful cards because it's just been in the game since the beginning, which is about 14 years ago. And with being released off the ban list, it's showing that it can stand the test of time. Coming to number 7, I have more of a newer card, Brilliant Fusion. Now, why I did say I'm not going to mention archetype based cards, I don't really consider Brilliant Fusion an archetype based card, even though you can run in its own deck, which is Gemini's. The Brilliant Fusion as a card has been splashed in so many different decks, from Monarchs to Heroes to Performances and Pals. And the card can pretty much be used in anything that can support it. All you have to do is run one Gemini card and you're good to go. I mean, you want to run 2 to maximize it, but you play the card, you bring out your fusion, you get your extra normal summons, and you pretty much just win. A lot of players have used this just to get their decks extra summons, to get their decks going, and to abuse their effects to the fullest potential. So I had Brilliant Fusion. This is number 7 because this is an all-time powerful card. There's a reason why a lot of people want to see the card banned. Coming to number 6, I have Card of Demise. Now, Card of Demise is another great card. Effect basically reads, when you play it, while you have 3 or less cards in your hand, you draw up until you have 3 cards in your hand, and then you pitch your hand during the end phase, I believe. That's powerful due to the fact that it's reminiscent of Pot of Greed. And if you guys don't know Pot of Greed, you draw 2 cards to +1. And Card of Demise can, in most cases, be a +1 if you play it right. It has brought a lot of rogue decks from Resurgence, from being dead back to life, and it's an overall powerful card. A lot of players just like Brilliant Fusion, one Card of Demise banned because they feel like rogue decks should not have that much power. I mean, it's simple, it pluses, it works. So I had to have this at number 6 because it's an overall powerful card. Coming in at number 5, I have Beatrice, the Eternal Lady, I believe that's her name. Now, I had to have Beatrice on this list because while it is an archetype card, it can be splashed just like Brilliant Fusion can be splashed in pretty much anything that can support it. It's a rank 6, you can bring out in any deck, or if you want to run a level 3 deck, you can bring it out by going to Dante and then going to her. With its effect to dump cards to the graveyard, it can really be abused to tenfold. A lot of players use it with combo it out with Shadow Dragon, they combo it out with a lot of the Burning Abyss monsters, and they use it in a lot of different decks to just win. I see BEATRICE splash in so many different decks that it shouldn't even technically be in. Similar to the fashion of Laval Chain, which is a card that you guys already know have formerly got banned. So I had to have BEATRICE on the list in R5 because I believe as long as it's out legal off of the ban list, it doesn't never get hit, it's going to stand the test of time for sure. Even that one, the card will always be powerful, similar to that of Laval Chain. Coming to number 4, I have Solemn Warning. Now, it was a toss-up between Solemn Warning and Solemn Strike. I guess Solemn Warning and Solemn Strike we tied for number 4, but effect basically reads, you know, negate the summon by paying a certain amount of life points, 2,000, and your opponent monster gets destroyed. Now that's very powerful because negating summons is always going to be relevant until Yugioh. In the Yugioh, I mean, you negate a pendulum summon, all the monsters go to the graveyard. If you negate anything, you're going to be good. It negates the summon of cards that can come out activated in hand, like Gores, and it's just gonna be one of those cards that's just gonna fuck players over as long as it's not banned. It's currently at 1, but with Solemn Strike at 3, it's kind of like the cards at 4, if you get what I'm saying. So the Solemn cards in general have always been powerful, and that makes no difference for anything that's going to come out with the Solemn in the future. So let's have Solemn Warning at number 4, tied with Solemn Strike. Coming to number 3, I have MAXX. Now, similar to things like Raigeki and Royal Decree, MAXX has stood the test of time as well. Being released in the late 2000s, MAXX has shown its potential where it can do. You activate it, your opponent has an option of special summoning or just standing there looking stupid and letting their opponent control their game state. And MAXX, as simple as effect is, this works for so many different people. Now, some players opt to use Effect Veiler because it's going to show off the effect right there. And there are instances where your opponent can abuse the MAXX that you've used on them to deck you out. But overall, MAXX has been here since, I believe it came out in 2007, 2008. And it's still being used to this day. So there's something to say about how powerful that card really is. I can predict in the near future possibly MAXX getting banned because it's one of those cards that it really hinders decks like Synchros and decks that spam. And if Konami ever says one day to themselves, hey, I want to make a deck that's spammy that doesn't have any drawbacks, MAXX will in fact get limited. Coming to number 2, I have Cyber Dragon Infinity. Now, just like all the other Archetype cards on this list, Cyber Dragon Infinity is also a universal card. And the effect basically reads, when it comes to the field, you can suck up a monster, add it as a material, and you negate effects. Now that's very powerful. A lot of players were predicting Infinity to get banned when it came out. And unfortunately, Infinity did not get banned, which is great because Infinity is a powerful card decks like Cyber Dragons have been needing. But also, unfortunately, decks like Metaphors are abusing Infinity, and decks like ABC are abusing Infinity as well. So Infinity is definitely standing the test of time. It's a very powerful. I mean, it negates shit, similar to the fashion of great Shogun Shin did back in the day. And it's one of those cards that it sucks the monsters and it negate, and he's a big beefy guy. He's just gonna fuck the opponent in the ass as long as he's on the field. So coming to number 2, I had to have Cyber Dragon Infinity because it's very powerful, overall solid card, and it just had to be on the top 10 most powerful league cards. It's just too good in my opinion. And last but not least, number 1 on the list, I have Powder Desires. Now, there are a lot of debate going online. Should you run Powder Desires? Should you not run the Powder Desires? And I don't see why that's even a fucking debate. You banish 12 cards from the top of your deck, and you pretty much get a Pot of Grief-esque effect. Now, while Powder Desire might not be used in every deck, if you look at OCG results, and you see how it's impacting that meta, almost everyone's running Desires. It's that good. Like, banishing 12 cards from your deck, it's not going to hurt you unless you're playing a specific combo-based deck. But if you're playing decks like ABCs, or decks that run multiples like 50 to 60 cards, or decks that's just not revolving around one card, the card is going to be very powerful. Or you can even play it in decks like Heroes, abuse it with Diamond Dude, and that's why you get a free draw too. Pot of Desires is one of those cards I can definitely see getting limited to 1 and or banned in the near future because of how powerful it is. even though you can activate it once per turn. Just gaining that advantage is going to take a lot of players over the top with their decks and just give them too much advantage. So this was my list of the top 10 most powerful legal Yu-Gi-Oh cards currently in this game. If you guys felt like I left something out, I want to know about those cards in the comment section down below. And as I always tell you guys, if you're a new viewer to the channel, I would love for you to subscribe for more competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. I upload 3 times a week. Mondays to do my general discussions, on Wednesdays to do my top 10s, and on Fridays to do my explain series where I explain decks and archetypes in detail. I do these videos because I truly believe in helping you guys become better players, and also do these videos because I truly believe in you guys helping me become a better player. Chris from Team Innovation signing out. Peace guys, stay innovative. Deuces. For the longest in Yu-Gi-Oh years, OCG ban list, as far as I can remember, and TCG ban list in the beginning, you still come out around the same time. I mean, OCG will get their ban list.